Okay guys, I'm going to go on to the answers hub in the Discord because I often check it, and there's been a question this weekend that I think is incredibly important. So it's a little salute to Nathan, he's one of the newer members, and I'm going to flash it over and I'll show you. Now let me just pull this into shot just so that you can read this. And what you'll see, I mean, if you don't know what this is our Discord, and we're in this all the time, and I'll answer the questions in this section called Answers Hub. Now, some of them are public, as obviously this one is. Some of them are sort of product specific and strategy specific, which will only be for the guys. A little bit like this one here, where James Maxwell asking about the river, which is a two-stage setup swing trade, and how to make certain which one's better than the other. That we will do in the Zoom call on Wednesday evening, and I'll go right through it because it's not a simple answer that. So some are public, some are not. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to the task in hand. The question is a little bit deeper than it looks. So he's looking for trading advice. He's got a 1K account with a $60 drawdown. Right, that's the first part that I'm going to pick up on. He's had it for ages, and he seems to get himself within $30. So that means he's trading it up to what looks to be $70 because it's 10% profit to pass, and then falls back on itself. And he says he knows he's over trading and can't seem to walk away when he wins. Odd. And then how do you combat this? Okay. Now, what I'm also going to pick up on is this little bit here. Now, the guys are trying to help, and I'm really appreciative that this is the beauty of this community. We're all in it together, and we all work together, whether it's to a win or a loss, doesn't really matter. It's how we conduct ourselves. And Kevin is bang on with what he's saying. That's Perry, one of our guys. Everybody has sort of strange nicknames as well, by the way. The small account is what you see with me with gold. And if you look at that, you see people pulling it apart. The chap in this morning kept going, there's no stop. Where's the stop? How do you do your stop? I always have a stop. It's just, publicly, you'll only ever see a snapshot of what I do. Very simple. And this raises another question about perception. I trade what I see, never what I think. And that's what happens with a lot of traders, and I see that in comments. They trade and just do what they think, not what they see. And that's a big element. Anyway, he's right. Look at the small challenge based on one trade a day, same time every day, same asset, blah, 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 blah. But that bit kind of worries me. I don't tend to win my first trade of the day, so I'm not sure it would work. Raises another question. Okay. So now we've got this in your mind. Let's break it down a little bit, shall we? So first of all, it says he's got a 1K account with a $60 drawdown. Well, this is how I would approach that. You have not got a £1,000 account. Period. What you have is buying power of 1,000. It's just leverage. So your account is really $60. Now, depending on how they set up the payments, in other words, what your bid charges are, you're going to have to be down to around 6 cents per trade. Now, the MT5 that I use, which is the sort of BlackBull live account that you see, the lowest it'll go to is 10p, 0.01, which works out about 10 pence a pip, there or thereabouts. Okay, the 5%ers, which is the prop firm that I only endorse, and that's because I know them and I trust them. All the others I've got very little time for. But again, that is 0.01, around 10 pence a position. So for this one, I'm going to assume the lowest point is 10 pence. So you want to be trading at 0.01 per trade, per bid. Okay. If you're pushing this to get sort of 100% in 1 month, you are definitely overtrading or not taking solid setups. And I can see that because it's telling me you've had it about a month. It should take a month to 2 months in order to double the account. So for me, I think you're over leveraging this, reading between the lines. And if you're pushing it too hard, as you've quite rightly said, you are overtrading. You need to mentally step back and work out how many trades you need to take in order to pass it safely. So for argument's sake, if it's 70, like 100, you break that 100 down by how many days, months, weeks you want to trade, and then break it into 2 trades only, just 2. Take any more than 2 trades, you're definitely overtrading. And what will happen is you'll teach yourself a bad habit. And I'll say this to anybody that's new. Do the 30-day challenge. Do the 30-day challenge on this. 1 trade a day at the minimum size the account will let you do on 1 asset. And that's it. If you pass, it's because you're in positive expectancy and you've got 30 or less trades over a 30 trading day period. If you took 34 trades, but you were positive, you still fail. You've got to stay within the rules. This will teach you discipline, and it'll also teach you patience to look for the best setup. That's how you do it. Now, how do you set your setups? Very simple. You look at an hourly chart at the top of every hour. So at 9 o'clock, that's my chart, and you ask 1 binary question. Is this ready? Yes or no? If it's yes, drop it down into a 15-minute chart and monitor till you get to your optimum point, then drop to a 5-minute chart just to go trigger the chart. That's an easy way to do things. If it's no, go walk the dog, come back in an hour. That's how I would trade an account like this. So it's slow, it's methodical. But anybody, and I do mean this to anybody, if you're chasing money and you think you're going to turn small money into big money, this job is definitely not for you, and it's time to give up because it'll cause you more damage in the long run. It's a slow, steady process trading. Now, one of the things that I've picked up on here is underneath it said you don't tend to win your first trade of the day, but you also hold your trades for longer because scalping doesn't work for you, gives you anxiety. That's kind of a double-edged sword. The fact that you know scalping gives you anxiety is a good thing because it knows that's probably not the style of trading you're suited to. So looking at your hourly charts and your 4-hour chart is probably more suited to you. Now, the part that I pick out of it is you tend not to win your first trade. That tells me you have an itchy trigger finger and you're itching to get in the markets. So again, go back to your binary question at the top of each hour or the top of each candle close that you're looking at, because you might be looking at a 4-hour candle. Make your decision then. If you're wrong, just accept it. Do it again tomorrow with a clear head. Don't try and chase the market, because inevitably what happens is you get lucky, you've over leveraged, you get it up to, as you've put there, about 30 quid from passing. So you've done very well because you've essentially doubled the drawdown, but then you give it away because you're gambling. So in summary, look at your hourly charts, check the top of the hour, look to trade once a day, and if it takes you 2 months to pass your challenge, it takes you 2 months to pass your challenge, or whatever time period is set for you. But I wouldn't look to pass it quick. So that's the best advice I can give you. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, and above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.